Jack Dutton's death in 1923 has to be regarded as one of the most worthless in the entire Dutton family. For those of you who don't know, 1923 is a prequel series to Yellowstone that shows the life of the Dutton family in the early 1900s. And in this show, we get perhaps one of the most useless Duttons ever to be put on screen. Jack Dutton. His death, which comes as a result of his trusting nature and naivety, underscores not only his personal flaws, but also the terrible situation the Dutton family faces in their ongoing battle for survival in this time period. The Duttons are at risk losing their land and their lives against the worst type of enemy, a businessman named Whitfield, who wants to take their land by killing them and make a winter lodge. Because of this, the Duttons split up, with Jacob Dutton going to the train station to wait for Spencer, while Jack stays on the ranch to protect the land and the women of the family. This plan immediately fails when Jack leaves.
When's this Spencer returning?
Don't know. She said he's on the rail.
I'll take Judge Carl and Spade to the station.
What about me?
You take the gate, too.
There's gonna be a fight. I need to be in it.
Two most precious things we have are sitting right over there. I'm asking you to protect them.
Catch up to him.
If 3 ain't enough, I don't know what 4's gonna do.
Jack rode off to Livingston to meet up with Jacob.
Who's with him?
He went alone, ma'am.
Jack's decision to leave the safety of the ranch and ride off to meet Jacob, despite being ordered to stay behind and protect his pregnant wife, was reckless from the start. His eagerness to prove himself, to show that he was capable of contributing to the family's fight, clouded his judgment and ultimately led to his death. This is a man who, despite the obvious danger facing his family, opted to take matters into his own hands and venture out into a horrible situation, putting himself in harm's way when he should have been prioritizing the safety of his loved ones. What makes Jack's death even more tragic is the fact that he was easily deceived by 2 men pretending to be colleagues from the Montana Livestock Association. Jack's trusting nature, something that could be considered a virtue in many other situations, becomes his fatal flaw here. Jack should have known better than to take anyone at face value, especially when dealing with enemies like Whitfield.
Step out of them trees there. We're an agent of the Livestock Commission. To the train depot?
He your brother then? This Spencer?
My father's brother.
Looks like you boys finally get to use them badges.
His failure to recognize the danger of the 2 men and to not question their intentions resulted in his death. Had he been more cautious, more skeptical, or simply more aware, he could have avoided walking into an ambush and lived to fight another day. Moreover, Jack's death leaves behind a pregnant wife, further amplifying the tragedy. His sacrifice, driven by a desire to protect and prove himself, ultimately leaves his family more vulnerable. Had he stayed behind, had he listened to the warning signs, his wife would not have been left to raise their child alone. And to add more insult to this, Jack's death is compounded by the fact that his tragic mistake is ultimately rendered even more pointless by Spencer Dutton's swift return. Within just 24 hours of coming back to Montana, Spencer takes charge of the situation, wipes out all the men trying to invade the ranch, and kills Whitfield, the mastermind behind the Duttons' problems.
I'm not getting caught in a gunfight with some fucking soldier boy raising an army.
It's Spencer.
Dang it, Spencer, I didn't even get to fire a shot.
He did this. What's his name?
Whitfield.
Alex.
Spencer's actions exposed the futility of Jack's death. Had Jack stayed at the ranch, he would have lived long enough to see Spencer do what he never could and solve every problem that had plagued the Duttons at this time. Jack's death was unnecessary in the grand scheme of things, and it's this tragic irony that makes his death even more meaningless. In many ways, Jack embodies the Dutton family's unyielding spirit to fight for their land, for what is theirs, no matter the cost. Yet, Jack's impulsiveness and trusting nature stand in stark contrast to nearly every other member of his family, past, present, and future. Where characters like James, Jacob, Spencer, John, Jamie, and Beth act with strategic foresight, Jack lacks that trait, and it costs him his life. It is truly a shame that arguably one of the most trusting and kind-hearted Duttons had to die like this, but it is Darwinism at its finest. If you are still this trustful while in a war, you won't last long.
Where's Jack?
I don't know.
Man, we haven't seen him.
More unmarked graves in Montana.
I swear, boy.
A man is the last thing on my mind.